I'm State Representative Jeremy Munson. I represent District 23B in southern Minnesota, just south of Mankato. And I've been in the legislature a couple of years, and I've watched a horrible election this year be handled. Our U.S. Constitution requires that state legislatures write election law. And what happened this year was an absolute disgrace. These executive powers, the executive branch unilaterally writing law is so frustrating. And on top of that, you've got the media and all the liberals and even some rhino Republicans saying, hey, the election wasn't changed because of fraud. Well, you know what? Fraud exists every election to a certain percentage, and it's these tight elections where it really comes into play, and we're losing our grip on the rule of law. We're losing our grip on our elections, and we really need to change it. I am so proud to serve with Representative Steve Drazkowski, who's going to speak next. He has been at the forefront of fraud when so many Republicans were afraid to talk about fraud. He was tracking what's happening in Minneapolis during the summer in the Democrat election with Democrats on Democrats, and he brought Project Veritas into Minnesota to track this election fraud and to do a report on this. And we filed lawsuits against Secretary of State Steve Simon for unilaterally changing election law without the legislature. Right? He came to the legislature asking for things. We gave him, one thing to be able to count ballots after the election, and then, as Drazkowski will say, they changed the rules of the game, and so we can't do that. Thank you so much for coming out today and supporting our president and supporting the rule of law. And I also want to say thank you to all the state troopers that have came out here. We love our police. We love our law enforcement. Even though this is called Storm the Capitol, we are not storming this fence today. We want to get you inside as soon as possible, but please respect the police officers out here. They're doing their job. We wish that Walls would have called them out here to protect the statues from being torn down, but they are here today for our safety, and they're doing their job. Please respect them, and thank you for coming out today to support free elections, fair elections, and the rule of law, and to unveil this fraud that we have in this state with our elections, because once you lose elections, you lose everything. I am so disappointed with the election results in Georgia, and in as many elections this year I've said, we have the votes, but we're not counting the votes. And that's what's frustrating. So the next election cycle, the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, and of course the Governor are going to be so important in this state if we want to take our state back. Please pay attention. Please get involved in campaigns. And please, you guys are already out there talking about elections, but don't be afraid to talk about what fair elections mean. We go in and still prop up governments overseas, and we create more fair elections overseas than we have in our country. So never stop talking about this. This is central to our democracy, to our constitutional republic, and how we hold elections. So thank you, everybody, for coming out today. I'm glad the weather is beautiful. And I want to introduce Representative Steve Drazkowski, a champion for election reform in Minnesota.